It's kind of crazy that over the past year, there's been so many people outed as pedophiles. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can give y'all a list, but I'm pretty sure everybody has their own list of people that they've heard messing around with little kids like that. And we're not going to be talking about that either. We're just going to be talking about one guy, and his name is Tokyo's Revenge. If you guys don't know, he's an up and coming rapper. You may have heard the song Good Morning Tokyo. That's his song. But the whole problem stems from a post brought out from, I want to say her name is GTH Star. I think her name's Garth. And she basically came out and said that he was grooming her and some other ladies and trying to get them to send them stuff and have phone sex and all this stuff, right? Now, at the time when I heard this stuff, it sucked, but at the end of the day, I was like, you know, the guy's young. As long as he didn't mess with them physically, I feel like he can come back. Not saying that what he did could just be waved away, but people get canceled all the time. Remember Chris Brown and the whole thing with Rihanna? You know what I'm saying? He beat the mess out of her and he's still making music. And I'm like, okay, well, he didn't mess with him, he talked to him. You know, maybe he can come back, maybe things can work out. But here recently, over the past, I want to say day or so, it has came out that he may have actually have been meeting up with some of these girls to, you know, indulge in some sexual acts. And if that's the case, then I think his career is over, bro. Which is sad because you see it a lot nowadays with these kids, bro. They get famous, they don't know what to do with themselves, and then they waste it. Whether it be just using up all their money, or going out and just making a bunch of just terrible life choices or anything like that. And then when all the cloud's gone, when everything's gone, whenever they messed up, they have nowhere to go. And of course, age of consent wherever they were could have been 16, but do you really think people are gonna overlook that though? Like, I feel like it's a universal thing that people feel like age of like actual consent's 18, even though the law says 16 in certain spots. You know, you feel like the large majority of people are gonna see that and just overlook it. You know what I mean? Like, if this is true and he actually met up with these chicks, bro, I think his career is done. Like, you really can't get any more down bad than doing what everybody else apparently was doing over the past couple of years that have been outed as pedophiles, bro. And if you notice, a lot of them, they just are erased from Twitter or from any type of social media. They're just done. You know what I'm saying? And anybody who's trying to come back from it are gone for years. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. And to see that this is happening to a guy who I consider to be the future of rap, you know what I'm saying? It's nuts. I remember I used to watch some of his interviews just to see how his mind works and how he kind of puts his raps together, bro. I looked at this kid and I thought, yo, this dude's gonna make it big, only to see this happen, you know what I'm saying? It's disappointing, sad, dude's down bad, don't know what else to say about that. And for anybody who is a diehard Tokyo's Revenge fan that thinks that everything's going to go back to normal and that everybody's going to forget about this situation and he's going to go back to grinding and doing what he was doing prior to all this, I promise you this right now, if it comes out as a fact that he had sex with any of those girls, his career's over. It's done. Like, he's probably not going to come back, and if he does, he's never going to get to that point that he was prior. And I'm going to tell you why now. For those of y'all who don't know, a couple of months ago, there was a YouTuber, a Twitch streamer named Call Me Carson, who was berated by the entire internet for being a scumbag. He did a lot of his friends dirty, but one of the biggest things that came out of that was the fact that as a 19-year-old at the time, he was talking to a 17-year-old. Now, a lot of you guys may look at that and go, oh, well, that's not that bad. And to give you guys even more perspective, it was about a year and a half of age difference between the two, which means that theoretically they could have been in the same grade. Like, to give you guys an idea, I graduated when I was 17. I have a friend who was born in 1997. I was born in 99. She was 19 when she graduated. And say me and her had dated at that point, by the standards of the people who jumped on Carson a couple of months ago, she would have been a pedophile. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy. And to give you guys even more perspective of that situation, from what was shown in the text messages that were brought out, the entire time dude was making it obvious, like, yo, I don't really want to do anything other than just talk and be dirty on the phone. Like, he doesn't exactly say that, but he implies it multiple times. That's all he wants to do. You know, when people were calling him a pedophile and a groomer, when he didn't even really groom her, you know what I'm saying? They're calling him a pedophile, all this stuff. Even one of his best friends at the time, Slimesicle, who I think that's his name, he basically called the cops and let them know that, like, a couple of years back, that's what he was doing. He was talking to a 17-year-old. He was talking to a minor. Even though they were super close in age, nobody puts that into consideration. If they're a minor, they're a minor. And dude didn't even have any physical altercations with any of these people. And now compare that situation to this one right here, where we have a 22-year-old talking to 15 to 16-year-old girls and being heavily applied to actually have slept with a couple of these chicks. You know what I'm saying? Having phone sex, all this stuff, but it's heavily implied now that he's been messing around with them physically. Like, this isn't like a 16-year-old talking to a 17, almost 18-year-old. This isn't a 17-year-old talking to a 19-year-old. This is a 22-year-old talking to, at the worst, a 15-year-old. If he was messing around with those chicks, if he was having sex with those chicks, it's over. I don't think there's really anything that he can do to fix this, you know, and it sucks because he's a really good rapper, and I hate to see somebody with that talent go. But I mean, things like this happen, and unfortunately dude wasn't using his head and put himself in a situation where I don't even think he can get out. But I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully, you know, everything kind of lines up to where nothing's gonna be as bad as it looks. But from what it looks like, bro, I think it's over. I think it's over, bro. You hate to see it. That's it for the video, y'all. Let me know how you feel. This is my first time doing a commentary type video like this. If you like it, don't forget to hit the like, share it, subscribe, of course. We're on the road to 500 subs. Let's get it. And yeah, y'all, that's it for me. Peace.